We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. A violent weekend in Baltimore City leaves 5 people dead, including a 60-year-old grandmother who was caught in the crossfire. Coming up, the plea from her family. The mayor is set to make a big announcement about the future of low-income housing in Baltimore. Coming up, a closer look at the new laws he is set to sign this afternoon. And all eyes are on the Ravens, the team now just 1 win away from heading to the Super Bowl. Coming up, we've got reaction from the team, the fans, and we're going to share how you can get your tickets for Sunday's big matchup against the Chiefs. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. The Ravens heading to the AFC Championship game. You're taking a live look over M&T Bank Stadium where the game is set for this Sunday. It is the Ravens' first time ever in team history to host this game. The Ravens will face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Tickets for Sunday's game go on sale tomorrow morning at 10. The game is set for 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Well, just into our newsroom, new video of former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby arriving at federal court. She is facing 2 charges of making false statements on a loan application relating to her purchase of Florida vacation homes during the pandemic. The trial started last week, but was delayed due to snow. If Mosby is found guilty, it's possible she could face decades in prison. She already faces up to 10 years in prison after 2 perjury convictions in November. Fox 45 News' Mackenzie Frost is covering today's proceedings, and we'll have a live report on Fox 45 News at 4. You can also find our past reporting on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Happening today, a major change for those who live in low-income housing in Baltimore City. This afternoon, Mayor Brandon Scott is set to sign a pair of bills into law aimed at providing inclusionary housing to low-income residents. Shannon Lilly is outside City Hall with a preview. Shannon.
Yeah, the mayor plans to be here at City Hall this afternoon to sign these 2 inclusionary housing bills into law. And advocates say this legislation will help promote fair and affordable housing across the city. But we spoke with a taxpayer advocate who argues that there's more to the story here, and that's not entirely the case. But let's first take a look at these bills here. The first is the Inclusionary Housing for Baltimore City bill. It would require residential buildings with 20 or more units that receive city subsidies to allocate 10% of those for affordable housing. Now, taxpayer advocate David Williams points out a few problems here. First, he says this could cause other units to be more expensive to make up for the lower rent of the others. And he also points out that building anything is a choice. So developers may opt not to build at all, or they may just build buildings with less than 20 units. Now, the second bill being signed into law today could help with this, though. In fact, the high performance inclusionary tax credit would create a tax credit to offset the cost of this. So Williams says, while this might help, now you have taxpayers subsidizing developers who still may charge more for rent for the other units. According to the Baltimore Sun, though, the mayor had some financial concerns about the bills before they passed in December, but maintained support of the vision throughout the process. Both he and Councilwoman Odette Ramos, who sponsored the bills, see this legislation as a step toward undoing racial and socioeconomic segregation in the city. And again, the mayor is expected to sign these bills into law right here at City Hall at 1 this afternoon. Of course, we'll continue to follow this and track how your tax dollars are being spent. Reporting from City Hall, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 News, Midday.
In a city in crisis, a violent weekend in Baltimore has residents on edge. In just a matter of hours Friday, 5 people were shot and killed. Just after 8 p.m., 3 people were killed in a quadruple shooting in northwest Baltimore. Then 2 hours later, 2 people died in a double shooting in Curtis Bay, including a 60-year-old grandmother.
Just people, they have no regard for human life.
11:10 now, and taking a look at your social stream, the excitement is growing among Ravens fans. The team is heading to the AFC Championship. Taking a live look at the stadium where the game is set for this Sunday, the Ravens facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs. This will mark the Ravens' first appearance in the conference since the 2012 season, and that is the year they went on to win the Super Bowl. This year, the team looking to do the same thing, and they are just 2 wins away.
It's meaningful, now we got to get to work and go win it. That's really, that's the challenge.
I think that's crazy. I thought the Ravens, growing up, I was a fan. I watched them for year after year, and I was always thinking they played at home, but they've been busting tail back, especially when Ray Lewis and them played. I didn't know they played on the road or not. I was watching them, so it's crazy. I'm just glad to be here, be a part of this whole thing, man, this run, and hopefully get the win next week.
All these young guys coming in here. All right, we just got to do what we got to do. Lots of fan reaction, as you would imagine. Don says, we just got to keep doing what we do and play Ravens football. Another one saying it's going to be a hard one because the Chiefs with Mahomes has Super Bowl wins and knows how to win. The Ravens are in first place, but the pressure is going to be on them to win. They can do it. We got to do it. Last one, Clay says, Baltimore has to beat the Chiefs. I can't handle Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce coverage for 2 weeks at the Super Bowl. I think a lot of people feel like that. Actor Alec Baldwin is facing charges again in New Mexico, tied to a deadly movie set shooting in 2021. A grand jury indicted Baldwin on involuntary manslaughter for the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins while filming the movie Rust. Baldwin says he pulled back the hammer but not the trigger, and the gun fired. Well, now new analysis determined the trigger had to have been pulled. The weapons supervisor pleaded not guilty to involuntary manslaughter and evidence tampering. Her trial is set for next month. Reaction to this, again, ongoing. Gus says, good luck proving beyond a reasonable doubt this even goes to trial. Another one saying, if Alec Baldwin and the armorer can be charged with crimes, surely parents who give their children access to firearms can be charged when those kids go shoot someone, right? Billions of cicadas from 2 different broods will emerge in the U.S. this spring. Not ready for this. It's going to start in late April. Brood 13, which lives on a 13-year cycle, and then Brood 19, that lives on a 17-year cycle. They're going to come from underground at the same time. This year's dual emergence is a once-in-a-lifetime event that last happened in 1803 when Thomas Jefferson was president. Man, we don't need this. All right, let's see what you're saying. We were infested in Maryland a few years ago. Please, this can't be happening again. That's how I feel. Another one saying, didn't we just have this like 2 years ago? We did, but it was different broods. All these underground cicadas coming for us. Well, still ahead, a new approach to getting kids to go to school coming up, where students could soon be paid to attend class with the option of a cash bonus for good grades. But first, it is the final day of campaigning before the New Hampshire primary. Coming up, a closer look at the narrowing field of candidates. One of them is no longer there. 11:13 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:15 now and topping your election 2024 news. Today is the final day of campaigning before the New Hampshire primary, and the field is much smaller. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis now out of the race, making former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley the last candidate standing between former President Donald Trump and a third straight Republican nomination. Speaking of Trump, he could testify as soon as today in the defamation trial against him. This case will determine how much money Trump has to pay E. Jean Carroll after denying her sexual assault claims. The judgment comes after a different jury found last year that Trump did sexually assault Carroll and then defamed her by denying it. Vice President Kamala Harris is set to kick off her nationwide Fight for Reproductive Freedoms tour today. This comes on what would have been the 51st anniversary of Roe v. Wade, but in 2022, the Supreme Court overturned the constitutional right to abortion. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration is recommending visual door plug inspections for another Boeing model following the Alaska Airlines blowout. The agency recommends reviewing Boeing 737-900ER planes, which is used by multiple overseas airlines. The aircraft has many similarities to the model involved in the January 5th mid-air emergency. The FAA says the inspection should focus on mid-exit door plugs. The agency notes the inspection is to ensure an added layer of safety. A special grand jury has been chosen to investigate the 2022 mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Jurors are expected to spend at least 6 months investigating the case. The news comes just a day after U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland visited Uvalde and delivered a scathing review of the law enforcement response. Coming up later today at 4, Fox 45 News continues to follow the second trial of former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. Our team is inside the courtroom bringing you the latest developments. One of Maryland's most wanted fugitives caught by police, the years-long manhunt, and how he was apprehended. 11:17 and now to today's talking point. 2 Ohio lawmakers are out with a new proposal. They want to pay kids to go to school with a cash bonus if they graduate. The bill is being proposed by one Republican and one Democrat. They want to create a pilot program that would make cash payments to kindergarten through 9th graders for high attendance rates. The lawmakers also want a graduation and grade point average incentive bonus. Under the plan, students could earn up to $750 a year. Currently, the bill is being reviewed by a House committee. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now, and I'm not for that. That just sounds ridiculous to me.
Well, here's my problem with these always the school stuff they kind of mess with. Are all the schools at the level they need to be? As far as heating, air conditioning, water systems, are all the schools where they're supposed to be?
That.
So, you know what I mean? So any kind of diversion from that, right. What are we really talking about? Paying kids to go to school, they're supposed to go to school, but they're supposed to also have everything they need.
Exactly.
And so that's my thing. Anytime someone starts talking this kind of language, I don't even listen because, like you say, in every city, there's some schools that's the have and the have-nots. And let's deal with the have-nots first before we start paying kids to go to school.
Right. If you have that money, put it into exactly what you're saying, making an educational system that these kids can go and learn in. And as far as paying kids to do something they're supposed to be doing, we're supposed to be instilling that in kids in another way, not incentivizing them to get good grades, because that is not how the world works. You do what you're supposed to do, otherwise there are consequences, and you need to learn that early on.
Yeah, I mean, now these are just our opinions, and that's what this piece is our opinion, but yeah, we agree. We agree
that this is crazy. All right, Mark, thank you. Well, we just came through our first round of winter weather of the new year, and as meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us, we are not the only ones.
Well, really pretty picture here. My buddy Spencer works over there in Memphis, and he had this picture of some snow in parts of Tennessee, and that is the sunset kind of after the calm after the storms that rolled through that part of the country, and of course right here through our area over the weekend. But overall, our hour-by-hour forecast not looking too bad today. We'll see a lot more sunshine as we take you into the afternoon, and temperatures steadily climbing in the mid to upper 30s. The average this time of year in the lower 40s, so we're going to be near that number, or nearer than we've been. After today, we should get out of the 30s and start getting those temperatures to climb, but close to 40 for the afternoon. That sun will be up until 5:15 today, and that is definitely a little bit longer as those daylight hours continue to expand. We'll see those temperatures here in the low to mid 30s for Bel Air, Cockeysville over to Westminster, 39 Baltimore City and Annapolis, mid to upper 30s for you on the eastern shore, and we'll keep those mid to upper 30s going around up and down the 95 corridor, 38 in DC and 40 in Ocean City. Numbers climbing, 40s Tuesday and Wednesday, and even some 60s on the way into Thursday and Friday. So that's vastly different from that icy weekend we had. Here's a look at that future scan. Staying dry for the afternoon today. Heading toward tomorrow, we will see more of the clouds rolling in, but not tracking rain necessarily on Tuesday. That rain's going to possibly be around Tuesday night, just a couple of sprinkles. Wednesday will be cloudy as well. The rain really doesn't begin till after about 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. And then Wednesday night into Thursday, that's when the rain's really going to be here. Off and on scattered showers through most of Thursday afternoon. Here's that 10-day forecast for you. We can see those numbers climbing. As I mentioned, some showers to get through toward the end of the week. We'll see a few showers around for game day on Sunday, but a high of 50, a lot better than those 20s we saw on Saturday.
You are right about that, Justin. Thank you. Still ahead, the excitement is growing. The Ravens hosting several fan events this week. Coming up, how you can show off your Ravens pride ahead of Sunday's big game. And it is an all-new night of prime time tonight. First at 8, it's America's Most Wanted. Then at 9, it's TMZ Investigates Obsessed and Dangerous Hollywood Stalker Crisis. And then stick around for your day's top news with Fox 45 News at 10 and the late edition at 11. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25 now. The Ravens are going to the AFC Championship game, and the excitement is building. And you can show off your Ravens pride by getting your car stenciled. The team is offering free car stenciling this Wednesday outside the stadium. The stencil design is brand new for the playoff game. You can head out to the stadium Wednesday between 4 and 8 at Stadium Lot Inn. The team is also hosting a caravan this Friday. The Ravens caravan will be in Howard County and Anne Arundel County. Those who come out will be able to meet the cheerleaders, the mascots, and even score some free giveaways. The team says final details will be posted online later this week. And if you're in the city, there are 4 playoff rallies this Friday. Those rallies will be traveling across downtown, starting at the Wayward Bar and Kitchen before heading to James Joyce Irish Pub and the Waterfront Hotel, and then it all ends at Cicada Pub. Now, plenty of Ravens fans fought the cold temperatures for Saturday's win over the Texans. Pablo chimed in with this picture of his family all bundled up, cheering on the team. And it's never too early to start your fandom, right? Look at this. Lachelle shared this picture of her 5-month-old son who was locked into the game. Well, we want to see how you're supporting the Ravens on this playoff run. Chime in with your Purple Pride photos by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can also submit your photos at foxbaltimore.com or on the WBFF app. After the game, the Ravens game that is, you can watch the NFC Championship game right here on Fox 45. The Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers will meet for a spot in Super Bowl 58. You can catch all the action beginning next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's all we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
All right. Thank you, Patrice. American families are looking different these days. Coming up, we'll chat about the changing family dynamics and what it means for families in the future. Be More Lifestyles up next.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
Hey, what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Lady T is here, along with comedian Ray Diva. Good morning, ladies. Let me tell you right now.
What's up?
The Ravens are heading to the AFC Championship game, taking a live look over M&T Bank Stadium where the game is set for this Sunday. It's the Ravens, first time ever in team history to host this game. The Ravens will face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, a lot of people also wondering if this means Taylor Swift will be in town. Of course she will. A lot of excitement surrounding the game and the road to the Super Bowl.
Hey.
So, this is different for us. Normally, we're kind of the scrappy blue-collar team. Now we got, we got Lamar. No, we got Odell. We got a little splash, and now you're going to have Taylor here. We're going to see her man, Kelsey. Are you guys excited about it? You're a Swiftie.
I'm going to bet. The Swiftie. I'm going to bet my house on it. So if they don't win, Lamar, I need you to do me a big one.
You bet in the house.
The whole house.
I love
that man ran a yards.
You know what?
He did.
So, Lady T, again, are you excited about this? You're the entertainment. There's going to be something that breaks off, some kind of excitement.
I'm ready, Mark. I just want to say that I called it. Now, when we sat here last October, November, and I sat here and I said, we're going to the Super Bowl. Baby, don't play with us. The Ravens are out here, okay? Also, it's going to be the Ravens versus Taylor Swift on Sunday. I don't know if you know that. It's going to be, and hopefully Kim Kardashian comes in town, because I heard she went LBJ. I heard she went Odell. So it's going to be a celebrity fan fest, and hopefully they invite me.
Baltimoreans. We need Oprah. We need Monique. We need all the big Baltimore people come there.
Oprah, come on down. Everybody needs to come into town for this one, because this is major for us.
Even if you're not going to the game, just be around the game.
Yeah, I'm going to every watch party.
So
I'm using all my gas.
Ray Diva, now you're a huge social media influencer now. Are you going to do controversy or are you going to do entertainment this week? Because there's a lot going on.
I'm going to do entertainment this week.
Ooh,
The controversy be controversy in.
She be controversial. Okay.
It kind of goes into both, so I kind of feel where you're coming from. It's going to be one to remember.
Well,
I think this is going to be it.
She's going to be piping hot.
The tea is going to be hot.
Listen all week, Lady
If Taylor
Cheese
comes to town, I'm going to lose my mind.
If she comes to town.
Yeah, she's going to come celebrate her man, her man.
Okay, we want you to
She's
tell
coming into town.
We want you to tell her, will the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl? Vote on our website, foxbaltimore.com.
We will.
Vote. When you get to the website, you know what to do. Make sure you click on the Lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Go Ravens. Cybersecurity experts are warning a new TikTok trend. They say the Get to Know Me trend is a goldmine for hackers. The trend has creators sharing personal details with their followers, like the name of their first pet, where they went to school, and what their mascot was. Experts warn the answers are often used as security questions that could allow hackers to access your private data. Now, this is for the stupid people. Okay?
Yeah, because
if you're putting on your, this is where I live. This is my grandfather's name.
Any of that. Like Joe Biden could text me on Instagram, and it could have the check mark, and I'm deleting it and blocking them.
No, I'm telling you,
I promise you.
So what is this hack about? Is it just like people unsuspecting
because people try and take your pages. People try and take my page all the time. When you have followers and engagement, they want your page because they can get money for your page.
They can ask for money.
Has anybody tried to take your page?
Yes, they did last year successfully too. They did. But you know what? I was able to get it back, so thank God for that. But this scam really is like lit. And it really is. Those are the questions that they tell you, like, where are the banks at?
Yeah.
Help us out, because the security questions need to be changed then. Yeah. Because everyone knows that, the info to this, and they're asking the same questions. So why don't y'all change the security question to help us out, baby?
Because Mark, they'll take your page and then have Taylor Swift picture as
they'll have and it'll be Mark Swift.
It'll be all Mark's friends.
I'm not a Swiftie.
All your friends.
Hashtag Mark the Swiftie.
It appears families are getting smaller. A new study reveals a significant transformation in family dynamics. The study found not only is the average size of a family shrinking, it will continue to shrink for years to come. In 1950, a 65-year-old woman had an average 41 living relatives. But by 2095, the number is expected to drop to just 25.
Is that every family, or is that because Caribbean families? I don't know if y'all know, but because these mamas, especially in them night dresses, they're having at least 12 kids in them night dresses.
I think it's global because Finland and other countries are paying people to have babies.
Really?
But the fact of the matter is Finland, I think Japan, they pay you monthly to have kids. kids.
Oh, wow.
But think about it. It's too costly to have babies now. That's why it's shrinking.
I'm with Lady T. Bring back the night dress.
Bring back the nightgown, baby. Yeah, bring back the night dress. The night dress that got the mamas, the grandmamas having 12 and 13 and 14 kids. It's got to be a certain kind of nightgown, because my mom used to wear a nightgown.
Yeah,
it can't just be like this. It can't be like a teddy. It has to be like, it's got to be like.
Not a teddy.
Like, not a teddy. It's got to be like the full night dress that you wear.
My mom's the one
from here to here.
But no,
it's got to come down to the ankles.
But it got to have one hole in it. If it doesn't have one hole,
it got to come down to your ankles. It got to come down to
one hole. Where you going to be? You got
the DC Improv on the 24th.
Go, girl.
Union Lobster Bar on the 23rd.
And the lady, Ray Diva's going to have on a nightgown with one hole in it.
You have one hole in and a robe.
One hole.
And a robe.
Enjoying the arts.
In a robe that don't go all the way up.
Coming up, a sneak peek upcoming season of the new show's Classic Theater of Maryland. And a good pair of socks can do more than keep your feet warm in the summer. Coming up, how you can improve your blood flow, and actually you can believe one hole can infuse your blood flow.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Compression clothing can do a lot to ease foot and leg pain. Stacey Bell from American Steals and Deals is here with the compression sock that will help you find relief and look good at the same time.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
I'm going to tell you about something that you need, but you may not even realize you need it. Compression socks. I travel a lot, and so I keep these in all of my carry-on bags, so I have them at all times. They really are helpful for just maintain your overall health, because the heart is working so hard to pump blood throughout your body, and when it goes down to your feet, that's easy. But it's getting it to come back up because it's working against gravity. That is the challenge, and that's where these compression socks come in handy. Dr. Siegel, a doctor of course, created these, and so he just put a lot of extra care and thought into these. They're antimicrobial, they have silver ion, and they have this extra cushioning. I just got these, and I really like the purple, the lavender, because that's my favorite color. But the other thing is they're compression, but they also are really good stretchy, so it's not that compression that's painful. These are at such a great deal. You could buy one and give them to anybody in your family or even some of your friends. You're getting up to 20% off of Dr. Siegel's compression socks. He really did put a lot of thought into these, so you want to head over to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by the Classic Theater of Maryland.
The Classic Theater of Maryland just closed out the holiday season with a successful run of seasonal classics, and now looks to keep the success going in 2024. Here for more is founder Sally Boyette. Sally, great seeing you as always.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Definitely.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. Well, congratulations on your sold-out shows.
Thank you.
Well, tell us about that.
Well, we had two successful runs of White Christmas and A Christmas Carol, and we were doing alternating shows from Thanksgiving weekend through Christmas Eve. That was a wild ride. So,
I love it.
Yeah, we did something like 36 performances.
So, selling out the shows now. Are some of our favorite actors going to be back this season?
They are. We have an original adaptation of Jane Eyre coming up in February. We're very excited about that. That's a world premiere. And then we have our cabaret series continuing. We've got the 1950s next up. That's January 15th and 16th. It's a really nice evening.
And you have so much variety of shows. How do you tell us about your process? How do you select the plays and how do you pick them?
When I'm choosing the material, I just try to choose something that I think the audience is going to connect with. And so we're doing work that is spanning from the classics all the way to modern musicals and music that is really in the modern vocabulary. So we've got music from the decades that starts maybe in the 20s or 30s or 40s, but that music is still being re-recorded by modern artists today.
I love it. I mean, and again, it's obviously working because you're expanding and you're growing. And so, tell us about that and what we can look forward to as you expand.
Well, we're excited that our season is continuing. We've got Jane Eyre, as I mentioned, and that is a world premiere. And then we're doing two big musicals, Gypsy, a Sondheim musical, and that's followed by Crazy for You, a Gershwin musical. There's a lot of dancing. Those are both spectacular musicals. And then we have two outdoor shows. We've got our epic Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream, and then we've got the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged, which is all of Shakespeare's 37 plays in 90 minutes by three men in tights.
I love you just mentioned the diversity and the variety, from Shakespeare to the musicals. I mean, like you say, that's just a great evening or afternoon of entertainment.
It is, and I think we have something for everyone, and I think that's why the theater is growing and expanding, and we are your regional destination for the classics, the Classic Theater of Maryland.
I love it. So where can people go for more information?
They can go to our website at classictheatermaryland.org or give us a call at 410-415-3513.
Well, continued success, and I know it's going to be another great year.
Thank you. You should come see us.
Definitely. Still ahead from the classics to classic rock, coming up, an inside look at Baltimore's rock opera society. But first, an author takes us behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. Stick around.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
Keith Lawson is a veteran of the entertainment business. He's from Baltimore, and his new book takes us behind the scenes. Exactly. It's called The Man Behind the Curtain.
Yeah,
Keith Lawson, welcome. Welcome home.
Thank you, my brother. Good to be home.
Right off North Avenue.
Yeah, right off of North Avenue. Wait, Whitelock.
So, Keith, I love the fact that you started basically in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and you ended up in entertainment.
Yeah.
And so, you know, talk to us about that. Your book, I mean, you have met and launched and kind of pushed many people in the industry, and your book kind of talks about that. But it started off here in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's really a Baltimore story. I mean, I say when in any of these interviews, the man behind the curtain is a Baltimore story. It says, this Baltimore kid who grew up thinking he was going to be in STEM, and how did I get here and end up at BET as a senior vice president when this was never the path that I thought I'd be on? So it's really a tale of how the path is never straight. You know, I was moving along this STEM path, and this music and entertainment thing was always in my life, and I was ignoring it, not understanding that that was what the universe was calling me to do. So
I love it.
This is a space where I finally said, oh, I can make money doing this.
And in the book, I love the fact that you included Baltimore. We see pictures of your family.
Yeah.
We see pictures of very familiar images in Baltimore. But then also in the book, you tell us about how some of the artists that you discovered, some of the artists that you helped get on board. Who are some of those artists? Don't you give up too much.
I won't give up too much.
For your book, The Man Behind the Curtain.
Yeah.
You need to mention it 3 times because we want people to buy this book.
Yes, you can buy this book. There's a plethora of people in this book that you may recognize. Now, obviously, some that are in news right now, like Diddy.
Wait a minute.
Listen, total disclaimer, I did not help launch Diddy.
Okay.
But there's a good story about Diddy and myself and a person that I did help, who was Chucky Thompson, who was a, Grammy-winning, amazing producer that we lost too soon. But, folks like Chucky Thompson are in there. Shantae Moore is in there.
I love it.
Great Shantae Moore story. My group, Orange Americans, which in this area, a lot of folks know, they actually had a very nice national movement. Shaggy.
Wasn't me.
Yes. That's a big part of it. It's a big story about that.
I love it.
It's a big story about that. And a few others. Nanda Lewis, who's one of the reasons that I ended up writing this book. And Nanda used to be a host on BET.
Yeah.
And she had a King World talk show, and she was MTV.
So, Keith, before we're running out of time.
Yeah, sure.
I want you to give us a nugget for somebody who's watching, who needs a little bit of motivation from Baltimore, and sometimes feeling that the world is hard to get to, the entertainment world and the outside world. What would you say to that person?
Well, what I'd say is that first of all, never let anybody put a timeline on what your success is. Like, there's no time. Your timeline is your timeline, and the path is never straight. So, even for myself, as we mentioned, I came from STEM, and now I'm in entertainment. The path was like this, it was never straight. As long as you continue to move forward, learn from any setbacks and move on, then it's always, you moving in the right direction.
And how can people get your book? Everywhere, I'm sure.
You can get the book everywhere. You can obviously get it on my website, is iamspartacusmedia.com. That's the website. You can get it on Archway, Simon & Schuster.
Yeah.
You can get it at Amazon, and you can get it at brick and mortar. So.
Well, man, continued success. Keith, so proud of you, sir.
Appreciate you. Good seeing you again, my brother.
Time now for your wild and wonderful weather with meteorologist Justin Chambers. What's up, Justin?
Not a bad shot here. This is from South Carolina out there in Lake Greenwood. A nice little morning glow there for our friends to the south, and got a few clouds kind of hanging around. Overall, we didn't have a bad morning. It was a little bit icy with some of those temperatures that were in the teens, but overall, we've got plenty of sunshine on the way for us for the afternoon. Less windy conditions as well, and those temperatures that will slide into the above freezing category. So I'd say about 6 or 7 degrees warmer than where we ended up on Sunday, and a lot less wind. That'll make it feel nicer today and will help that snow melt going. We'll keep those mid to upper 30s in that 2 and 3 o'clock hour. Notice the average high of 43, so still going to be below average for today, and across central Maryland, and most of us in the mid to upper 30s, but eventually getting out of that deep freeze. Eastern Shore, Chestertown, Stevensville in the mid to upper 30s, right about 39 in Annapolis, 35 in Columbia, and you can see those temps up and down the 95 corridor, mainly in the mid to upper 30s for New York and Philly, down through Baltimore and DC, 40 if you're heading down to the ocean. So here's a look at our temperature tracker. We're going to see those numbers numbers climb to the 40s on Tuesday and Wednesday, and even some 60s on the way by the time we head into Thursday and Friday, even though that does come with some rain. And notice we get a little bit colder as we head into this upcoming weekend. Big game, obviously, on Sunday. Here's a look at our future scan. Staying dry on Monday afternoon. Tuesday, you get a little bit more cloud cover, but we're staying dry. We're not really tracking much rain. Maybe a few showers late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Wednesday comes with clouds as well, and those showers will begin, I'd say, late Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. That's when the rain's going to begin, and rain stays with us through Thursday. So this isn't going to be snow. This is going to be all rain because we'll have those mild temperatures ahead of that cold front. That cold front comes through for the weekend, and that's what's going to help drop those temperatures as well. 10-day forecast looks like this. Our temps climb, but we do have to deal with some of that rain. Should be mainly dry for most of the game in the afternoon on Sunday, but again, a few showers in the morning and some scattered showers for the afternoon with a high of 50 on Sunday.
The Baltimore Rock Opera Society is a collective of crazy creatives who get together to produce shows, to have events, to have activities and parties, and just have a good time being together.
So it was really just like a group of underemployed 20-somethings who were looking for really exciting ways to interact with our community. We kind of wanted to do something that checked all of the boxes for us. Like, well, we like concerts, we like big shows, we like humor and comedy and ridiculousness.
It's this huge, passionate group of people celebrating together and giving each other opportunities to do stuff we couldn't do on our own.
We just immediately started asking people to get involved, and that's never stopped.
You can be the star of a show, you can be a musician, you can be a costume designer, you can be a puppeteer, a puppet creator, a builder. You can make these spectacular things when we do it together.
Find a spot for yourself, find something really meaningful that you can do, and we'll put it on stage and sell a bunch of tickets and have a great time.
We've cracked 10 years now, and it's taken us everywhere from playing air guitar on top of a truck at Artscape to these 100, 200 person productions that go on every year. One of our largest productions was called Murder Castle. It was the story of America's first serial killer.
Space Kumite, sort of like a futuristic wrestling performance with live music, but the audience chooses the outcome of the show.
Terrible Secret of Lunastis, which is a space opera. Brides of Tortuga.
Very early in the pandemic, we were one of the first companies to come back and do live theater with an outdoor show called The Shadow Showdown.
We did a show called Funktopia. It was something a little different for bros.
It was all about like liberation and freedom, set to the back catalog of amazing hip-hop songs by Kendrick Lamar and Outkast and soul and disco music.
We're in the middle of a live karaoke series that's really bringing people out to create their own starring roles for themselves.
As a nonprofit, we are constantly sort of educating ourselves and our community, so we're always doing workshops and ways that we can kind of advance the level of the community here. The people who are working on the shows try to educate each other, and it's all a big learning environment.
We're volunteers for the most part. We do this because we love it, and we do it because we all share in the vision. It can't just be one person's dream. It has to be all of our dream to some extent, right?
We have an annual activity called the Pitch Party where anyone in the community is invited to pitch an idea for a show.
Anybody who's part of the Bros community or who's there at the pitch party can come vote.
And if their idea is selected, pros will get the manpower behind whatever is required to bring that show to the stage.
Why don't you tell them how to get involved? All right. So what you gotta do is you gotta go to BaltimoreRockOpera.org. Check out the volunteer opportunities. Sign up for the newsletter, no floaters, and come out to see a show.
Still ahead, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Baltimore. The Ravens hoping to advance this Sunday as they take on the Chiefs. Coming up, your take on the game and who will win. the Ravens are heading to the AFC Championship game, taking a live look over M&T Bank Stadium, where the game is set for this Sunday. It's the Ravens' first time ever in team history to host the game. The Ravens will face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we wanted you to tell it, will the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl? Right now, the votes are split. 37% say yes, 37% say no, and 26% say I'm not sure. What? Where are the haters? What is going on? Great show lined up for tomorrow. In North Carolina, school districts are removing mirrors from the student bathrooms. Apparently, kids are ditching class to film TikTok videos in the bathroom. Coming up, we'll chat about the unorthodox approach the school is taking and if it will work.
Find out how to have your business featured on Be More Lifestyle. Email us at BeMoreLifestyleTV@FoxBaltimore.com.
I can't believe it wasn't 100% that we're going to win on Sunday. What is going on? We'll get to the bottom of this. Hey, thanks for inviting us into your home. Make sure you follow Be More Lifestyle on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great one. Stay warm, and we'll see you tomorrow. Go Ravens.